Thank you, Jack. For those of you who don't know us, the extended family members, my name's Jane Melto. This is Lisa Pretzel. We were 2 of the 3 board members for the year, and we have just had an awesome time, I think. Yes, we've been planning since, I don't even know when. Yes, last year at this time we thought, wouldn't it be great if we could have our own King's Co-op on the west side of town? So anyway, this is the Lord's blessing on that. And so we're very excited to have made it through a whole year. Some of the things that have gone on throughout the year, one of the first things that was kind of my favorite, we were in the nursery 4th period, so we got to snuggle with the babies. So even in the nursery there was learning going on, mostly by us, but it was fun. The pre-K and kindergartners went through all the letters of the alphabet. They had a show and tell video by their teacher that went out every week on Facebook, and it was a show and tell that had to do with a certain letter. So they were learning that letter throughout the day in many different ways. They traced their bodies, so you'll see those downstairs. They put all the different organs in, and that's pretty amazing. The 1st through 4th graders, they learned some current events about our country. They studied the first settlers from the American Revolution through the early start of our government and through the Plymouth colonies. They learned in science about birds and bugs, and they actually watched caterpillars hatch into butterflies. And at the end of the program here tonight, we're going to go outside and you can let those butterflies go. The 5th and 6th graders had a variety of fun in God's World News. They did some art and learned a lot of things going on in our world. They had such a desire to learn. They learned about anatomy and physiology in science, and they just all kind of fed off of each other and learned, and it was just an amazing time. They did a lot of dissection, so they had a lot of fun. The 7th and 8th graders studied the early scientists up through the human body. So they had a general science class that just went from the very beginning of science all the way up through to what we know about our body today. The 9th through 12th graders did an advanced biology class, and we did a lot of dissections as well. We studied the cow's eye, we dissected that, a sheep's heart, a cow's heart, and a fetal pig. And I'll tell you, I taught that class, and today when I got in my van smelled like formaldehyde. I'm like, okay, so it's time for the class to be over because I can smell it still in my head. The 7th through 12th graders went from Holland to Germany and Pearl Harbor to Japan, all studying World War II. They also, in the fall, if you remember, they studied sign language, so they learned a variety of things this year. And I, again, just want to give a huge thanks to all the teachers and the students for putting up with we moms, and we really enjoyed it. So thank you very much. We're going to start our program with the kindergartners, if they want to come up and do their thing. And preschool, excuse me.
Alphabet a lot this year, and we have from 3-year-olds up through 6-year-olds, and so the first half of the year, the song we're about to do, we were mainly just singing it, and then the second half of the year we started adding sign language with it, and I'm letting them all know, whoever wants to do the sign language, please join in with me, and those who just want to sing it, you just go ahead and sing, okay? All right, is everybody ready? Can you show me your A? Show me your A. Ready? Okay. A. B. C. D. E. F. G. Jesus died for you and me. H. I. J. K. L. M. Jesus But at least for one session of the day, we had just the older ones. And something that the older ones were working on was reading a clock, starting off with just to the hour and how the minutes work. So we did a video. They haven't seen it yet. So I'm going to say thank you, and you can have a seat, and we're going to watch the video of what you guys were working on. All right, good job, everybody. Come on down.
I can't do it. No. I need to do microphone.
Come on down.
I need to take that.
justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote general welfare, and secure for the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity. Ordain and establish the Constitution of the United States of America.
So, first thing we're going to do is we have a very, very special song prepared for you this evening. And this semester, I have just been absolutely amazed by the amazing talent that your students have, your children. And I had no idea that they could even sing this way until he started this semester. And it absolutely blown me away. And so we prepared a very difficult song to show off the virtuosity of their vocal talent. I'm glad you're all seated because if you were standing, you'd probably fall over. It's called My Little Lost
It's too much.
So what we really did this semester, last semester was more focused on music appreciation, music history, some music theory in there. This semester has been more vocal and a lot more music theory. So what we did was we worked through the semester on a round of songs, to really force them to stay on pitch and to listen to each other and to stay in rhythm with each other. Anyway, so it's going to be a round. They're each going to go through 3 spirituals, okay? Guys, how did you step back?
I don't know. Because it was cramped. It was cramped.
All right.
I needed. It was almost gonna fall off the edge.
You guys start with
And how much it fell off it. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. When the saints go marching in, when the saints go marching in, I'm gonna love to be in the number. When the saints go marching in, sing low, sing, sing. I'm gonna shout, shout, shout. I'm gonna sing, I'm gonna shout and praise the Lord. When His gates are open wide, I'm gonna sing like Jesus said. I'm gonna sing, I'm gonna shout and praise the Lord.
learning and trusting God. So that's been a good opportunity for me. They have worked hard this semester. We started out with just studying life and what constitutes life, and then we moved on to the human body, and that's what we finished up with. And it's a general science course, so we don't really get really deep into a lot of subjects, but they finished out the year with an essay and a poster, so you'll be able to see those displayed downstairs, and I hope you take some time to look at those items. And they had some memory work, so this is what they're going to present to you tonight. And I hope you enjoy their presentation as they give you God's Word. And this is from, Psalm 139. It's verses 1 through 18, and then they're going to finish up with verses 23 and 24.
O Lord, thou hast searched me and known me. Thou knowest my down sitting and my uprising. Thou understandest my thought afar off, and art acquainted with. Thou compassest my path, and art acquainted with all my ways. Lo, for there is not a word in my tongue, but lo, O Lord, thou knowest it altogether.
Thou hast beset me behind and before, and hath laid thy hand upon me. Such knowledge is too wonderful for me. It is high, and I cannot attain unto it.
Whither shall I go from thy spirit, or whither shall I flee from thy presence? If I ascend up into heaven, thou art there. If I make my bed in hell, behold, thou art there. If I take the wings of the morning, and dwell in the uttermost parts of the sea, even there shall thy hand hold me, thy right hand shall lead me.
If I say, surely the darkness shall cover me, even the night shall be light about me. Yea, the darkness hideth not from thee, but the night shineth as the day. The darkness and the light are both alike to thee. For thou hast possessed my reins, thou hast covered me in my mother's womb.
I will praise thee, for I am
Fearfully and wonderfully made. Marvelous are thy works,
my soul knows very well.
My substance was not hid from thee when I was made in secret and wrought in the lowest parts of the earth. Thine eyes did see my substance, and that eyes did see my substance, yet being unperfect, and in thy book all my members were written, and in continuance were fashioned, and not when as yet not knowest I, not them.
How precious also are thy thoughts unto me, O God. How great is the sum of them. If I should count them, they are more in number than the sand. When I awake, I am still with thee. Search me, O God, and know my heart. Try me and know my thoughts, and see if there be any wicked way in me, and lead me in the way everlasting.
Last semester we did sign language. This semester we learned World War II history. I just love these students. I just love teaching them. I thought it was important this semester for them to learn World War II history. It was something that I never learned myself in public school. During this year, this semester, what I wanted them to get out of it, I broke it down each week. We went into forms of government and went into the access powers and what the government believed and actually what their faith was. There was faith behind that and not biblical faith. Then they mapped out the lands that were in war, that were taken over. So they did the geography. We learned about the Axis powers and the Allied powers. We had, my husband came in one day. He has some old German money. So he talked to the kids about depreciation of money and the value of money, that if there is nothing behind it, We had a guest speaker come in, Mr. Simmons. He was a veteran of World War II, and I thought it was really interesting because he was basically their age when, World War II was going on, and he wanted to fight in World War II, and his mother would not sign him over because he was 17. So he joined the war at the tail end and went into Japan after the war was over. But I hope that these teens understand that I don't think there's a mom in here that would ever want to sign their child over, during a world war. And just really, I really pray that they could really understand what Mr. Simmons was saying, and even if not now, but in the future, that they can look back at what he had to say. Then from there, we obviously talked about the Holocaust. And who, if they were in that situation, who would they be? Would they turn a blind eye and allow this to go on in their backyard, knowing it's going on? Would they be willing to risk their life to help save other people, even if they knew that their life is in jeopardy? Would they, if they were in a concentration camp and they were a Christian, would they share the gospel? Or would they be so angry? So we talked about that. We talked about the freeing of Dachau and Buchenwald. We talked about how the American soldiers, when everything came to be and these camps were found, the love and compassion through all of this war that they had for these people. During this time, they each had to do a presentation on someone that was affected or part of World War II. The Blands, I put them in groups of families, and there was a couple single kids that didn't have a family member, and the idea was how they worked together, especially the ones that were had family members, siblings in this group, how they worked together as a team because the people that they were researching were working together with their families. So the first ones were the Blands, and if you guys want to talk about the person that you...
We did our presentation on Corrie ten Boom. Corrie and her family harbored over 800 Jews from 1940 to 1944. In 1944, she was arrested along with her older sister Betsy and their 84-year-old father. They were put into prison, where Corrie's elderly father perished. The two sisters were moved to Ravensbrück concentration camp near Berlin, where they were forced to work and construct German war machines. Betsy died there on December 16, 1944. 12 days later, Corrie was released. Although Corrie was tortured and starved, she trusted in God because she knew He would pull her through. Corrie realized that she must pray for her enemies and endure her trials faithfully. What amazed me when I was researching Corrie was that even though she suffered terribly, she still saw all others before herself. And I realized that even though I do not go through nearly as much as she did, I can still sacrifice the small things in my life and my comforts to help others.
Oh, you guys want to come up to the
Oh, sure.
mic?
I just got one.
You want to pass it down? Okay.
I think I'm going to be reading.
Okay,
What?
the Meltos.
You don't want a mic?
The Meltos, okay. You want me to ask
Yeah,
you
can you
a
ask
question?
the questions?
Okay, so who was it that you guys researched during World War II?
Us three. Oh, this is really loud. We researched about Tuvia, Asiel, Ziesel, and Aaron Bolesky, and they were brothers in Nowhere Grodek. I don't know where that is.
Okay, so where was the location, and how many years were they either in captivity or in hiding?
Well, they were hiding from Germans in a forest in Nowogrodek, and they built buildings and stuff with the Jews that they rescued from ghettos, and just the ones that were seeking refuge in the forest. And their small band grew into a large community, which eventually grew into 1,200 Jews, and they were there for 2 years.
What were their strengths or any kind of pain and suffering that they went through?
Well, they had to, they were hiding from Germans the whole time, obviously. So they had to move locations multiple times, and also they had to find food for 1,200 people, so they had to hunt and grow that food. So that was.
How did God work in their lives?
Well, he obviously hid them from the Germans, and that was a miracle in and of itself because that was 1,200 people hiding in a forest. And also, there are now thousands of people living today who wouldn't be alive if those people hadn't survived. So.
And then how did this testimony affect the three of you, being siblings?
Well, it's kind of a challenge because would we do the same thing if we were put in that situation? Because they were obviously risking their lives. They were risking their lives by taking all those people. So that was kind of challenging.
They had to put their
Yeah, they put themselves in danger.
rivalries
Yeah,
to be able to help them.
yeah.
Okay, and then Zeta and Trinity. Did you want me to ask you the question?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so the name of the person that you researched.
Darlene Rose Debler.
Okay, and where was she from? What was her age?
She was born May 10th, 1917, and she died in Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Okay. Her location or years in captivity?
She was a Christian missionary to Papua New Guinea, and she was in captivity for 4 years.
What was her strength or pain and suffering that she endured during those 4 years?
She was able to help the other women that were sick and hurting, and she also took on their workload.
And then how did God work in her life during this time?
Well, many of the people were saved there, including the camp commander, and her story is told nationwide today and touches people's lives.
How did her testimony impact your life?
I think mostly like what they also said, I can't remember what you said, but it touched me when you said it. But like she didn't, like we take things for granted a lot today, and like a short story, she saw this person giving this other woman a banana, and she was like, oh, I just want a banana, and I hate bananas. I wouldn't ask for a banana, but she didn't have much, but she was grateful for whatever she did get. And today, we have everything, but we're not really grateful for it. So.
And then we have the Solomons.
So,
go ahead.
So David and I, we did our presentation on Anne Frank, and I feel like she's kind of probably one of the most famous people that was in the Holocaust. Everybody knows about her, but we learned some really interesting things. She was born in June of 1929, and she died sometime during the spring of 1945, so she was only 15 when she died. She died in a concentration camp. After the war, her father was the only one that survived, and he came home and found her diary that was given to him by one of the people that had helped hide her family, and he had it published. And since then, it's become a nationwide bestseller. It's been sold in millions of countries, published in a lot of languages, and it's because her story is really really inspiring. She was very courageous during everything that she went through. She remained strong and steadfast, and it just really impacted my life personally, seeing that, and I really enjoyed studying her, and David did too. So.
so hopefully you'll enjoy it. Do you have your coffee? We have to have coffee. Okay, all right. So, guys, Mom's going to get her coffee because that's really, really important for mothers, and we don't want to not have it. Okay, all right, you're welcome. Okay, so first thing we're going to do today, class, is 15 minutes, 2 minutes running, 1 minute walking. Nope, no complaining. No. Now, David, uncross your arms, please. Thank you very much. Okay, so what we're going to do is, yes, 2 minutes running, 1 minute walking. Please do not walk while we're supposed to be running. Does everyone understand that? Yes. All right, ready? 2 minutes on. Go, run. Hey, I said run. You're supposed to be running. Guys, no. Forget it. Okay, next thing. Listen. We're going to use some plyometric jump squats. You guys are not in good shape, so we need to get you in shape. Okay, we're just going to do a good squat. Down. Nice. Hey, we're doing jump squats. Guys, what can I do to get you to be quiet? Kids these days. All right, forget it. Hey, put your phones away. This is not social hour. Phones away. Social. No more Instagram pics. Okay. All right, forget it. Let's do some jumping jacks. All right, all together. I want us counting together like a team. Okay. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2,
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 20, 20. Are you kidding me? Moms these days.
That was it.
Okay, that's all we have for today. I just want to thank everyone who helped. It was been a great year. Before we go downstairs and have some refreshments, there's going to be displays down there so you can look around and see some of the different things the kids have done. But before we go down, I'd like to ask Mr. Solomon to pray for our snacks and our food.
After grace, if anybody wants to go outside and release the butterflies before we come back.
Father, we praise you tonight. This is an explosion of creativity and it's a demonstration of your love and your goodness. God, thank you for these children. And just pray your blessing upon them, Lord. And tell the reason your word to these kids. My son, my daughter, forget not my law, but let thine heart keep my commandments. For length of days and long life and peace shall they add to thee. Let not mercy and truth forsake them. Bind them upon thy neck. Write them upon the table of thine heart. So shalt thou find favor and good understanding in the sight of God and man. Trust in the Lord with all